Now it's time for EEEZ Around the Table with your host, Easy, who I'm pretty sure is easier than me. Earmuffs, kids. Adults only. Just the way I like it.
I love earmuffs. So F all of ya. Because the Blue Jackets are going to the second round of the playoffs because I'm a big hockey fan. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that. But all that crap means that it's a Tuesday night at 10 o'clock at Lenny, Melnick, FantasySports.com, the Legend Sports Network. I have a few people now that don't understand. Chat room people understand. I am EEEZ Kill. None of this easy crap like I'm,
Ease. Like somebody called you EEEZ. EEZ will be on later. EEZ.
No easy. I'm not easy. I'm hard as it gets, brothers. I'm EEEZ Kill. And I'm joined by my new I'm Doug. I'm giving you the
Look at this.
You're my main guy now. No one I had Chuck for a while. Chuck rolled with me for a while, and then he bailed, and Lou used to be here for a while. He bailed, but Doug is stuck in there for a while now. So Doug, thanks for being on. Saturday show, 10 o'clock. I had to go to track meet. Missed it this week.
It's okay. We were doing some it was kind of funny when we opened up the show. There was absolutely nobody in the chat room. And so we broadcasted real quiet, not to wake anybody up.
That's when I'm at my best. I'm at my best when I'm the only person in the chat room. I love to get JJ stirred up at 2 o'clock when there's no one in there. And then he'll go back and read stuff that has nothing. I mean, he said something like 10 minutes ago and I made a comment and he has no clue what the comment's for. And it just screws him up, kind of cracks me up.
But despite our best efforts, some people showed up over time.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm sorry I missed it. And then we have, up there in the Great White North, I would consider Maine the Great White North. The natty light of roundtablers. I have Mr. J.R. Slice there, and he's got. Is that a 25? You got a 25 OZ right there?
Always. But
always.
I kept it slow tonight because I was like, I'm not going to do it. But then my wife started realizing that I wasn't drinking very quickly. And she goes, "You're trying to go on the show, aren't you?" And I was like, "What? No." And I was like, maybe.
Well, you have fun. You have fun when you're on here, don't you?
100%. I have a great time.
Yeah. And
I just wish I was cut off at like an hour and 45 minutes or so.
Doug, you're in charge of making me quit on time, and you suck. You suck at it. You will go. You're just as bad as me.
I mean, to me, it's like if it's interesting, it's one thing. If it's not interesting, it's not. The funny thing is, like, we take a little while to get going, and sometimes, like the best conversation starts with 10 minutes to go, and it's like you just don't want to stop at that point. Not that the other stuff isn't okay or good, but it's like this is the meat. This is great.
Yeah, last week we were fighting when my machine went down.
Exactly. That was it was like
my machine did a window update at 12:15 or something. Because I hit the button that said do it later. So I don't know what the hell that meant. And all of a sudden my machine just went down. And they
were going back and forth for a little bit. I'm like, hey guys, we're not broadcasting.
Well,
because it only picked up your voice. It's easy.
No, on Lenny and my Spreaker on YouTube, you guys were all still there. So if you watch the YouTube, it's there. So yeah, if I'm not there, keep going. I had to keep broadcasting because I was still on the other things, and I had to say goodnight and do all that and log off. But
but that was what I'm saying. You got to boot me off at an hour and 45 minutes because I went back. I woke up the next morning, and then I was like, I remembered a couple things I argued about. And it was that whole, I might have saw Travis Shaw 4 or 5 times in a row, but I was arguing, and Dan probably knows more, so I had to go on because I remember we were having that whole discussion. I still think the Brewers are going to win, guys. Don't get me wrong, that division. But I went on, and I was like, I guess he does kind of strike out. He does a decent, he has like 8 walks, I think it was, but it was more strikeouts. But I just happened to see all 8 walks. And I was just like, I know he walks a lot.
I looked it up afterwards. I go, it's like
I had to.
He has a career 8.8%, something like that, which is very good, but it's not like Joey Votto good.
No.
But this year he's at 13%, which is pretty crazy high.
Okay, so maybe I wasn't so bad. But
I also think that's an anomaly. It's higher than normal. But yeah, he does walk.
All right, so we're starting off right where we ended last week.
We don't have to, but
No, but that's the point. I think that's where we're going. We do get wound up as the show goes, and that's what makes it hard to end, at that 2 hour. Because a lot of times that's right when, everyone, which is the same when you're at a bar with buddies. The more you drink, the more shit goes on. And then next thing you know, you're spatting, so that's the fun part. I don't have a problem with it.
I see that you put the request out to see if someone's heard you, but I actually listened to the opening and your sound was fine.
You sound fine. Good. But
is everybody sleeping tonight? Lou's sleeping, Andy's sleeping, Cha-Cha's sleeping now.
Now I don't know if it's weather or just that people know that I don't always go into depth of baseball talk, and on this website they get a little. Now with you guys on, baseball's pretty big deal.
Well, I did want to bring up one football conversation.
Oh,
no!
Here we go.
Yeah.
No.
Is it the Patriots?
No, it's about EEEZ himself.
Oh,
EEEZ himself. I remember early on, I've been doing this now for about 13 weeks, and we were talking about how I draft way too early in baseball.
Yeah.
EEEZ posted that he did his first football draft already. And I mean, you think me drafting in February is early? Drafting for football in April is nuts.
Yeah, but
but let me just say, it was supposed to be a mock draft, 10 people, so so someone could write an article.
Yeah, no, a mock draft is fine.
Okay, hold on though. That's what it was supposed to be. But they needed some information to do an article, and they wanted, so they wanted to do that. Okay, so the draft is going to be at 8:00. Unfortunately, the weather was beautiful here in Ohio. And I got to tell you, at 5 till 8, I get a tweet saying, hey, we draft in 5 minutes. I just got done mowing the grass. I had all about it. So I go running in the house. I do get logged in time. And, so I'm good. And long story short, 9 of the 10 are there. And we start the draft. And after the second round, somebody went, are we playing this out? And people went, no, it's a mock. Long story short, after 5 minutes of discussion, we decided to restart the draft and play for money. So,
what you guys turn into a best ball or something?
Well, yeah, it's a draft and hold, best ball. I don't know what you want to call it.
Wow, that's what they call the football draft and hold, I believe, in baseball, best ball. Right. But
so, so I did participate in and again, I use the word loosely because I was in it. It's not an industry thing, but they didn't want random people. They wanted people that knew a little more than the average, fantasy.
I just thought that was interesting. But the truth is, it's a little easier to draft early in football because if you're in a 10-team league, you're going to know, you know ahead of time, 18 of the quarterbacks, 24 of the running backs, probably 40 of the wide receivers. It's only things on the edges that you got to guess about.
Doug, that's your nice way of saying it's just really easy, Doug.
No, it's just not. It's not as deep. I mean, you never hear when you talk to baseball guys, you'll hear I'm in this 20-team league. I have a 16-team, 48-man roster league, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right. It's no one does that in football. It's most the big leagues are 14 or 15. It's standard is 10 or 12. And you have 30 teams to choose from, so it's pretty easy to get a quarterback, pretty easy to get a decent running back.
Yeah.
It's we have to have these arguments that, in deep leagues are going to go, should I pick up Austin Dean or Dwight Smith Jr.? And
I'm loving my Dwight Smith Jr. ad, by the way, guys.
I'm a big fan of Dwight Smith Jr.
I didn't really know too much about him, but I've been watching a lot of baseball in my package this year, Easy. And I happened to see him, and I'm like, I don't know. I might have to add this guy. We got 4 outfilders.
He hit pretty well.
5 minutes in, and we're talking about JR's package.
No, he hit pretty well in the Toronto's minor leagues, but they had all those bigger name guys that are coming up in the outfield, and so there just wasn't a spot. And plus, they went and signed Grichuk, and so the Orioles traded for him for cash. He went over to the Orioles. He's the kind of guy that's if you just had an opportunity, he would be okay. I'm not thinking he's not going to be a world beater, but he could go 15 home runs, 12 stolen bases with a 280. And considering what you paid for him, that's a steal and a half.
I mean, if he keeps up this pace, his runs alone could be pretty decent. Yeah. I mean, he actually could be good.
He is Dwight Smith. He is Dwight Smith Jr., who's son of Dwight Smith, who I did once report that Dwight Smith won Rookie of the Year for the Cubs. Yep. He didn't. He came in second in voting. Jerome Walton won that year.
That's close enough because Rookie of the Year means nothing.
Well, just something to remember his dad by, but those are old Cubs guys.
I know. I'm anti postseason awards. We've had
I mean, we broadcast live on all these shows, and so there's a chance that when we speak, we're gonna say something that's a little bit wrong.
Never.
When it comes up again, I always like to correct myself.
Oh.
I'd like to be as accurate as possible.
Now, but because you brought it up, and no one loves me, and you said, so we did 2 mock drafts. Technically, we did 3 rounds. Then we stopped and redrafted with new positions and everything, and made it pay. Both times, 2 different people. Barkley went number 1. I think if you're taking Barkley before Zeke Elliott, you're doing it wrong. That's my tip of the day. I'm sorry. Zeke Elliott, to me, is nothing has changed. He's the only one, especially in running backs in that first round, where technically nothing has changed.
Well,
he should have the same situation as of right now that everyone else does. All the other running backs that have been taken before him have major changes and situations that are changing. And I'm not willing this early to draft a running back.
I guess, yeah, considering the time frame, I imagine you'd want the safety of it. But if this was I don't know that much about football, so I'll admit that. But in my mind, those couple 3 running backs thing are fairly interchangeable. And if somebody wanted to say Barkley over Elliott, I wouldn't have a problem with it. I'd probably draft Elliott over Barkley. But considering that he's got to make sure that the guy has the job and is going to be.
Oh, Barkley has the job. The problem is everything on that team has changed. The wide receivers, everything.
Yeah, things can change radically on that team. Even the quarterback could change after the draft. I mean, there's still a question. That's what I'm saying. It's like that's a more predictable situation.
Which is my problem always. And I'm even back to baseball. I don't gamble in the first round. I just can't. I will take people. People will laugh and say, I can't believe you didn't take so-and-so. And I'd rather have, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take someone who's going to go in the 3rd round in the first because he's safer. But I look at the 12, or in this case, it was 12 teams or 10 teams. I want the safest guy of those 10. I don't care where I'm picking. Because again, I do believe, that first round in most cases doesn't win you the season. But at the same time, it can lose it for you because, just things happen. And I didn't pick 6th and I picked 7th. And both times I got Andre Hopkins.
DeAndre.
I'm sorry. And DeAndre Hopkins to me is a much safer pick, than I would have taken Zeke Elliott, but he didn't fall that far. He fell to 5th and 4th, which makes no sense to me. I was hoping he'd fall to 6th or 7th.
I didn't think that this year in baseball there were 12 safe picks. There were 12 good picks, but I don't think there were 12 safe ones.
Both of these drafts with experts or people that are in the industry or just not, they weren't random people. Patrick Mahomes went both times in the first round. I don't get that's stupid. People suck. But
getting back to.
Most everybody sucks. That's pretty clear.
Well, I don't.
I'm awesome.
I'm done.
Getting back. No, I'm just kidding.
Not going to talk football other than you.
I want to bring up that one thing. Just
I didn't even know. I think I just posted it one comment in the chat room. I can't believe you even caught it. But
I was there and I guess it's because it stuck in my head because when we did the thing and I talked about when I drafted, I already got 2 drafts under my belt. And you're like, when do you start? And I'm like, we historically start the day after Valentine's Day. That's like for me.
People will make fun, but I mean, I'm still I'm a sweet guy. So even if JR goes somewhere, I'm sure he'll DM me on Twitter once in a while if I never see him again. Well, the guys that are now part of the Razzball, and not saying that in a bad way, I've been friends with them for quite a while, and they just know they can text me or tweet me if they need somebody in a football draft. I mean, I'm always up to draft football, and those, that group will, they know I'll come and take it serious. And I did. I went and drafted. It was fun. I had a good time. I didn't draft one rookie or anything. I know some of the guys did, but I don't give it. I mean,
I don't do that either. Yeah, not in football, not at all. But to get back to your thing real quick, they are the top few running backs are sort of interchangeable. Those changes that you're talking about in New York, let's say Eli Manning stays that starting quarterback. People think that actually benefited him because they think 1 year older that he's going to be even more of a check down guy, so they think that not only is he going to run through the line, but he's going to get the check down.
You don't think Odell being gone is going to allow them to pull up? Hi, Beth. Is going to allow them to pull. Jr. Your wife's background.
Beth and I became Facebook friends today.
What?
Oh, coming back.
Oh, my friend Doug. We're Facebook official now.
We're Facebook official friends. We're gonna go plan to see some musicals or something. I don't know.
Oh,
it's quite a travel. But anyways, getting back to what you were saying about Odell Beckham.
I got tickets to Dear Evan Hansen next week.
I think just Odell Beckham himself being gone is gonna make the offense. I mean, I don't care how good Barkley was. You couldn't just bring a safety up with Odell Beckham on the outside.
He only played half a season. He hasn't played a full season forever. So that doesn't matter. Like the stats that Barkley got last year, how many games did Beckham play? Doesn't matter.
I think he only missed 3, didn't he? I don't think he missed that many last year.
Last year?
The year before he was out almost like a bunch of
once again, it's so early. I'd have to check, but I swear I passed on Beckham and Julio Jones in a pretty big football league and got Michael Thomas. Everybody thought it was funny at first, and now I went away. I wasn't an expert, but
I'm almost positive Odell Beckham only missed a couple of games last year.
Oh, possibly. I'd have to check.
Because I got him at the turn. Because I had him and Michael Thomas right at the turn. You know, the end of 1 and the beginning of 2, which was a great.
Beckham played 12 games last year.
Yeah. Okay, so he missed 4.
Well, but that's my point. Barkley played most of the season with him, and if I'm not mistaken, Odell missed 2 of those were at the end of the season when they were out of everything. I think they sent him out because there was no fit. So.
How many games does he disappear? That's the problem. Like with him, is he plays when he wants to play.
No, he doesn't. He gets double and triple team. That's not.
No. I don't even want to go down this thing. He doesn't. I mean, he's been known. He's been a known quitter on the team. I mean, that's why. I mean, he's
all right. But I still, and here's my problem. Even Todd Gurley, remember, had that great rookie year, and then that second season he was terrible. But he went number 1 in a lot of drafts. Yeah. You know. Because of that's my problem. Barkley is still a second-year player, and I struggle with those a little bit.
Yeah, if they draft, it's first of all
at number 1.
Huh?
At number 1, I'm not drafting the number 1 pick this year. I'm not picking a second-year guy. And I know people will say, "What do you mean not proven?" Unfortunately, in NFL running backs, 1 year is not proven in my eyes.
Yeah, but wasn't Elliott's second-year running back last year?
Don't running backs have like a shelf life of like just really like 2 or 3 years anyway?
No. Everybody keeps pushing that, but that's baloney. Everybody says, "Oh, they're done at 30," but I mean,
how many? I mean, there's an occasional one that goes behind.
No, it's the other way around. The majority of them actually go out after 3 years because none of them amount to anything. To be real honest,
but the good ones 5 to 6 at least.
Right, the good ones. If you're a solid running back, you're going 5, 6, 7, 8 years if you're healthy. I mean, Adrian Peterson's going.
Yeah, but he's one of the most talented of all time. I mean, I don't think he's.
Well, but my point is, the good ones.
He's not representative.
Right. When people say 3 or 4 years, that's an average because there's a lot of them that go 6 games. You know, so I don't know. I just think Zeke Elliott as the early running backs has no changes, and I just think safer. And I think this is his 4th year now. He missed a lot of games in the 1 year because of all the turmoil and all that. That was his 2nd year. Then last year he played quite a bit. This is his 4th year. So,
okay, maybe. But anyways, I still have to see. It's early because they brought in Golden Tate. They still have Sterling Shepard. They have a great tight end. So you can't just bring 6 in the box. Let's say they draft good offensive linemen.
Well, yeah, right. Because their offensive line hasn't gotten any better.
Yeah. Oh, no, not at all. Then it's a total. I mean, those receivers are not horrible. I'm not saying they're Odell Beckham, but I'm just not an Odell Beckham fan. So I mean, you still have decent receivers.
Okay, and I believe, and my problem is, I agree with you 100%. But those, to me, this early draft, there's still too many questions where Zeke has no questions. We're talking drafting in April. That's my point. In April, it is too early to not take Zeke over Barkley because we don't know what's going to happen. That's my argument.
Well, they did bring Witten back, and he shouldn't be blocking anybody, so that kind of hurts whatever side he's running towards.
I don't think, unfortunately, the tight end sucked last year without him, and I don't think he's going to be he might be a little better, but I don't think much is going to change. I don't think.
Well, okay, we can. All right.
If that change that we have, I'll take it.
I mean, I don't follow football.
Beasley, that scares me, losing Beasley.
That does seem interesting looking at this list of I was trying to like look up a mock draft to see what was going on there, and like it was just a couple years ago when like they were telling people just don't draft running backs.
Oh,
yeah, it's changed.
And now the top 6 players are all running backs.
5 or 6 players in both of these drafts. The top 5 or 6 were all running backs, and that's why I took Hopkins both times. I'll take Hopkins. He's pretty safe for a first round pick.
I'm looking at this, and it's like the first 11 picks are.
And then
Barkley, Elliott, McCaffrey, Kamara, Gordon, Gurley,
and then
Adams, Hopkins, and Connor, Bell, Mixon.
Right. So, well, I came around and got Mixon then on the on my second round. So I started with Hopkins and then Mixon. So I got a running back, and I'll take Mixon in the second round. He has first round capability.
It's amazing how quickly the flavors change.
Yeah,
that seems like a homer pick, Mixon.
Well,
at 11.
Here, okay.
No, he's from Cincinnati, or he's from that area.
Hold on. Almost 10 running backs were taken. I mean,
in a 10 team.
In a 10
so
team,
weird.
The top 6 picks were running backs, and then there was a couple after that. Mixon was like the only number 1 running back kind of left, other than questionable people.
According to this, the next running back that was picked was David Johnson at 15.
Right. Oh, I don't want David Johnson. I'll take Mixon first. Yeah. Mixon's going to catch the ball. Mixon's thing hasn't changed. As long as he brings healthy, he'll be fine. I don't know.
Chubb at 17, Dalvin Cook at 18.
Right. Chubb was my question. Do I take Chubb or Mixon? And yes, if that's my choice, I'm going to homer. I'll give you that. I will take Homer over Chubb at that point. I don't have a problem with Chubb, but I did go Mixon. So
I would have taken Chubb probably if they didn't sign Hunt there. And what's he suspended 4 games? I think as of right now, or 6 or 4.
I still bet it goes down to 3 by the time we get.
So then Mixon's fine. Mixon, I had Mixon last year. He was decent.
Yeah, I got that. And at the very late in the draft, I was able again. I'm old. I forget the other running back I picked up from Cincinnati.
Giovanni Bernard's not there, is he?
As of right now, he may not be signed. No, I'm pretty sure he's there. He signed a 2-year deal last year. He's there.
Well, what other running back in Cincinnati would you pick up? I thought he was still the number 2.
No, he's the one. That's who I picked up.
Oh. Well, you didn't.
No, I couldn't remember the name, and I forgot the name. But yeah, I picked him up real late. I mean, I remember.
100%.
What, 3 years ago, he was like in the second round, and now you can get him in like the 18th, 16th round. I mean,
yeah, it's that whole I hate PPR, and I've argued with a lot of experts on this. I just don't like a catch and no yard as a point. To me, I'm an old school kind of guy, and so Bernard a couple of years ago they pushed him up, and I don't even think he had a good year that year. He was just pushed up by people because he caught all the balls, and Mixon or whoever else was there. I don't think it was Mixon at the time, but did the running. Now that's what they check it out in a couple months. That's the way they break it down. Is like, well, this guy's going to get the rushing yards, and this guy's going to get the catching, and they always push the catching guys up, and I hate that. It just
Yeah, but if you're playing within those rules, you gotta do that. Which is my number 1. That's my problem I have tonight, and I know I brought it up in the chat room, and you made fun of me. No, JR did. In the Trucker Billy Bob league. It says head-to-head. The rule setting says head-to-head. We are not playing head-to-head. It's head-to-head categories. I'm sorry, that is not head-to-head. And now that I know that, I would have drafted a little different and might have set my team up a little different. Because to me, here's my problem. Head-to-head, I only have to get 1 point. I get, there's a huge difference to me in how you draft and how you set up a lineup to win 6 categories to take 1 point than you do going, okay, 6 categories wins me the week technically, but I'm trying to win more categories than the other guy. That's all you're trying to do. So you can't punt. My problem is I punted saves thinking it was truly a head-to-head, and I didn't.
You still can. Doug, do you want to take this one? Because I could take a whole 5-minute segment.
I answer there like, I run a dynasty league where we actually play in baseball head-to-head 1 win, and we're really kind of a unicorn. There's not many that play that way. In baseball, when they talk about head-to-head, if you say head-to-head 5x5, then it defaults to.
Well, then it's my fault because
7-3 because it's different than football. It really is.
Well, the other league that I set up in baseball that I've been playing head to head, we set it up just like football. You're trying to win 26 weeks or whatever. You get 1 point every week.
But the truth is the difference between winning 1 point and winning a number of weeks isn't really that different because instead of you getting 1 point,
let him finish.
Instead of you getting 1 point, you're going to get 5 points while the other guy gets 2, or you're going to get 6 points while the other guy gets 4. On a rare occasion, there'll be like a 9-1 week by somebody or 1-9 where it's like
okay. Your argument there doesn't mean anything. Unfortunately, even though it's head to head, I'm still playing against everybody that week. Meaning, I'm still trying to win more categories than JR. Regardless, meaning, yeah, maybe I won 6 and the other guy.
By the same token, in a one-win league, you're playing against everybody every week too because you want to get more wins than everybody.
Okay, my argument isn't this is good, better, or worse. My argument is it shouldn't be called head-to-head. It should be called something else.
Well, you have a real beef there because the problem is that head-to-head in football, which most people play, defaults to that one win. And whereas in baseball, if you say head-to-head, you have to specify that you're playing one-win style,
right?
Because it is
specified. It is, guys. It's specified. I mean, I can go.
No,
I mean, if you let.
I did it. I went to the Yahoo settings yesterday. Our Yahoo settings, when you go down to whatever, it just says head-to-head. That's it.
No, it does not. No, it does not. Easy. Calm down. Calm down. It doesn't. Listen. I join a lot of leagues, and the first thing I do is read the categories. And I'm surprised that we have not got Cha-Cha in here blowing his stack. Listen, it's head-to-head categories. Just under it, it gives you the 5 categories for Yahoo hitting. It gives you the 5 categories for pitching. You're doing fine still. You're not going to lose. You can still punt saves. Yes.
No. I was saying, I'm in a head-to-head categories league. I'm actually in 2 of them, right? And I went to Yahoo, and it goes scoring type. All it says is head-to-head.
Right, exactly.
I looked, guys. I saw the categories. I looked.
No, the categories are beneath it, sure, but
that's what you have to win. What do you mean? It's head-to-head categories, right? Listen,
it just says head-to-head. That's all it says. You go look it up on the Yahoo thing. It's like
but there would be no categories on it. If it was head-to-head points, there would be different things. Because what you're talking about, Easy, I swear, is head-to-head categories. Listen, then I have another league, right, which is head-to-head, but it's what you said. Let's say you win 6-5, or sorry, you can't do that. 6-4.
6-4.
Then you go 1-0. So that's a total different league.
No, that's the point. If you say head-to-head in baseball, you get this roto style scoring where you get like a 7-3 or a 5-4 scoring. In baseball, you have to actually specify head-to-head 1 win in order so people know you're only playing for 1 win. Whereas if you say head-to-head in football, you start out with a 1-win style. Do they even play roto in football? Have you ever?
Somebody does, but it's very minimal.
Right.
It's very, very minimal. But Doug, I know the majority of us in this league know that it's correct, and I believe it's correct. But you're still doing fine. My whole point, Easy, you're still doing fine. You not having saves. Not having saves is fine. Like I've actually thought about trading. I only have 1 save guy, I believe, in this league, and I thought about trading him because I'm not going to win it probably either.
No, but my point is, right now, if we were truly head-to-head, me and you would be tied. We would both be 500. I'd be 1-1. You'd be 1-1. But we're not.
No, but it's not. No. It's head-to-head categories. It's not head-to-head.
And I know you keep saying that, but Doug is right, and I'm there right now.
No, the point that you haven't heard is Easy has a football-first mentality. So when someone said to him head-to-head, he just assumed it was the other side.
Right. I don't realize.
It's not.
No,
you and I have a baseball first thing, so we sort of understand that we have to have this little parsing out,
Actually, I don't. I've only been in baseball for about 7 years. I actually started in football for football 14 years ago, but it got so easy. Not that I won a lot. It was just...
And the first time you got into one of these head-to-head categories leagues, didn't you go like at the first week you're sitting there going, what the hell? I won 6-2?
No, I didn't because I read the rules. Guys, it's not hard. Like I don't understand this. Like I'm not a genius. Trust me. I drink Natty Lights.
and I'm not a genius either, but I'm on the Yahoo site right now. Meaning,
I looked it up. You are right.
But JR keeps saying underneath, no, scoring type, head-to-head. Stop.
Okay.
Then underneath that doesn't say anything. The next thing it just says player universe, all players. Players become eligible, blah, blah, blah. Meaning nothing says anything until about 9, not even 9, actually about 15 things later, it says scoring and categories. Well, I get it. When you're playing head-to-head, you still play categories because that's how you decide if you win by, if you get 1 point or no points.
If you were to join a football league next year and the guy said it was head-to-head, and at the end of the thing, you're like, you get a score to yourself. You're like, well, I won passing yards, but I lost rushing yards, and I got receiving touchdowns, so I'm up to 4-1. It would throw you, and that's all he's saying. He's being thrown by it.
My problem is JR's now making me. JR, I'm sorry. I'm
not mad.
No. Here's my problem. And don't take this wrong because you know me. I have thick skin. I don't think you're calling me an idiot, but at the same time, I'm telling you, I have read these rules twice in a day now. Okay. So, because after the first week, I thought that's kind of weird. Maybe I didn't catch something. Maybe I am just 0-1, but it says 6-4, whatever I ended up losing by, and then this week happened, and I went, wait a minute, how's JR ahead of me? We should both be tied 1-1, but then. Okay, all I'm saying is,
and then we get to the problem.
Hold on. I think I'm an above average fantasy person. I've played in a lot of different leagues. Obviously, I've never played in a head-to-head category on Yahoo, but I'm telling you, I have read the settings thing twice now. Nowhere on here do I get that this is a head-to-head category league, because you still have to, in a one-off head-to-head league, you still play by categories. That's what you have to win. You have to win 5 or more to beat the guy.
Then you become 1-0 or 2-0 as weeks go along.
This league, you don't have to win the week. You just get how many points you get for each category, and you move on. So even though it's based on me versus you, meaning I win that category because I only beat you, but at the same time, I'm competing with everyone else. Every week, I'm competing with everyone else in the same. Or in the steals or whatever, because someone like Meckard, who's now 14-2 and whatever, he's still gaining points on us. We're in a 1-1. He would only be technically right now 1 point ahead of us, where instead he's 8 categories ahead of us. Sorry.
Not really. You're going to see this. Dude, I'm telling you, you're going to see this switch. Like I was not doing well. It took me a 8 to 2 week to bump up because it's categories every week added up. Meckard could have 2 bad weeks. I understand what you're saying. You're still not competing with this. You don't care about the steals that Meckard got for 3 weeks in a row. You want to go that week you face him. Wednesday, you want to go, he's up. My wife must be getting on because I'm hearing echo. You want to go, okay, he's up 6-3 steals on Wednesday. And I don't know why I'm telling you this because this doesn't make any sense to me. I'm telling you this. You want to start putting in your stolen base people in the utility because you want to try to win that category. So I understand what you're saying. In Cha-Cha, maybe Cha-Cha didn't understand, and I'm not putting you down. I understand this, but I know when he threw out the rules and those emails that like someone like me, because I've somewhat known him for a few, he knew I knew what it was. And so did Lou Landers, and do not worry about what happened last week with Meckard.
Okay, so now you're going a little too far the other way. I'm not worried. I just didn't get it, and now I do. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying nowhere in the rules of Yahoo does it really specify what we're doing here. Now that I know, I understand. I'm not going far from you. Like, okay, no, I know I still just need to beat whoever I'm playing this week in that category. So, but if it's 1-1, I never have to worry about that quarter. Meaning if I don't care if I ever get 1 save, I don't care. I'm just trying to win 1 pitching category to get my 1 point. Meaning I want to win 6-4, get my 1 point and move on. Now I still want to try to win every category. Meaning in the past.
Well, no, not really.
Strategically, you're going to be weak somewhere. Being weak in saves is probably one of the easier places to be weak in.
No, you still did fine, Easy.
I know, but what now? Well, see, even Doug now said my problem with what Doug even just said. No, Doug, even if I'm winning 9-1 in that last day, if I have a shot to win that one, I have to change my lineup to try to win that point because that counts towards everyone else in that category. Where if we were playing one, just one, I could have cared less about that category.
Well, you make a change the last minute. If you're up 9-1, I mean, I would be more apt to.
I wouldn't do anything.
To remove guys from my lineup because I'd be scared that if I put in a couple of stolen base guys that they would give me an 0 for 11 and maybe lose me my average or something along those lines. Like.
Well, but that's my point.
It's like lock the 9-1, take it, move on.
Take that gamble because it doesn't matter because you're still going to win the 5 anyway. But I think you still have to try. You want to try to win every category.
Even if
10-0 is a huge jump every week.
If you're down 2-1 in stolen bases, how many guys? Name all the baseball players that you would be comfortable putting in on a Sunday, thinking they might get 2 stolen bases.
The difference is if I'm down just 2 steals, let's say I'm winning 9-1, but I'm only losing that one category by 2 steals. I know now, maybe I'm wrong. Right now the way I think I see it is I would still on Sunday want to put my steals guys in.
You are right. You are right that there's more strategy to the head-to-head, not one-win version, the Roto, because I think the stolen base may be a bad idea, but you might, especially when you look at like WHIP and ERA, you might make decisions on Sunday about putting in a new pitcher in to try to get Ks or pulling those guys out. So you have to worry about it the whole week through. But if you're up 9-1 on Sunday in a one-win league, you could just go, I think I'll go to the beach.
Well, right. Oh, definitely. Right. You don't have to worry at all if it's a head-to-head 1 point.
So I'll give you that.
I'm just saying, I think there's a little more strategy into it. And I'm not even saying I dislike it. I haven't done it before. I'm just saying Cha-Cha said head-to-head. Everything was told head-to-head. And now after 2 weeks, I realized, okay, it's head-to-head, but there's a twist compared to what I thought head-to-head meant. That's
there's a similar problem I run into. People will tell you when you join a league, they'll say words to you. And then the one that always bothers me is like one of the questions is like if somebody asks you to join a baseball league, you'll ask them like basic questions like how much, how many teams, right? But one of the questions you ask is like 1 catcher or 2 catcher, and they'll say, "Oh, it's a 2 catcher league," and then teams will play 1 catcher or no catchers, which should be a default lineup for being correct. It's like you told me, you told me this was a 2 catcher league, and now you're letting a team play with no catchers. That team is not doing the fundamental aspect of this league.
Yeah, but you shouldn't be in a league like that, Doug, anyways. I mean, you should have, and I'm not saying I'm professional, but every league that I'm in, you have to set your lineup. And if you have one illegal thing in there, you don't get the stats for the day.
Fantrax, one of the things we don't have Fantrax is they default to allowing you to go 0 catcher. It's like
who the heck is echoing?
I thought it was you because you were moving your mic around.
I thought it was me for a second.
I thought it was Doug.
Oh, now it sounds fine.
Okay.
No, Doug just muted. All I'm saying is,
hello.
I hear you now, Doug.
Am I?
Okay.
I'm gonna pop out and come back in.
Okay.
That's fine. We'll be here. No,
I blamed it on my wife, but that was not very nice.
No, so my only, and kind of where I put this in here, and I thought, well, if we had 3 or 4 people, I just wanted to know, do we name, I understand what Roto means. I understand what categories and what, or points leagues mean. To me, head-to-head should mean one thing, and what we're doing should mean something else. It shouldn't both be called head-to-head. I'm sorry. It should be called, weekly categories or something. I don't know. I just think it's not far-fetched that the 2 are different. I don't care what you say. I think the 2 are different. So they should be called something different. That would be my only point. Because and that's what I was going to say why Doug was gone, or on his thing, what he just said before he left here. Because I have that problem too. Do people invite you to leagues and I'll say, send me the information on the league and I'll look into it. And instead what they do is they send you an invite to join the league. And I have to send it back and say, I don't want to join yet. I don't know. Meaning they'll say, well, if you join, you'll see the rules. Well, no, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I want to know tell me the information before I join. And Cha-Cha that. Cha-Cha did all that. But I just saw head-to-head, and that's what I thought head-to-head was, a 1-0 week. But I don't like when people say, hey, join my league. And I say, well, send me the information about the league. Here's my email. And instead they send me an invite. Unfortunately, you have to join to see the settings. There should be a way to see the settings without joining the league.
Well, I know. Gee, I'm still echoing.
Yeah, but so am I believe. No? Maybe.
On Yahoo, you can join, but you can delete yourself. That's what you do. All right. All right, I'll see you in 7 minutes. I'm going to shut down and...
but that's okay. Now
no, actually...
Or is it me? Maybe it's me on the other end. I don't know. Anybody?
Is it you?
The chat room, there's nobody out there tonight, so I have no idea what the hell's. No one's out there.
Lovely. Nobody in the chat room.
No, but it was pretty lonely all night. Again, it's nice weather. People are hell. We were 74 degrees here in Ohio today.
That's possible because I didn't get. We're busy now too, so I didn't get to make the 2:00 show to mess with you with JJ.
Well, you were in early, I think. I think you were in at the very beginning, maybe.
I joined and stayed in, and then they made me do something, and I was like, what the fudge? But
I love JJ Sports Talk. I mean, I personally, or I'll see him tweet. He doesn't think he fits in because he doesn't talk fantasy, and unfortunately, I don't either. So I tell him, no, you've worked fine with me. I'm happy with. I just like updated sports information, and I like effing with him. I like typing shit in that chat room, and like I said, he logs in. He'll go 10 minutes and then go up and read the chat room and go, what we're talking about has nothing to do with what he thought we were talking about, and he's, he cracks me up. So
no, I agree. Actually, I think JJ's pretty good. I think I sent that in there about 2 months ago. He kind of has the delivery, and that's kind of what a lot has to do with it. I mean, his knowledge is good too, but I mean, I'll sit there and listen and talk about those stupid Patriots, and I hate the Patriots, but he kind of has like a good delivery, and he just kind of keeps it going.
What I like about it in the middle of the afternoon while I'm at work, he will bring up shit that happened last night, this morning. I mean, he's pretty current, and I like that in sports. I mean, I used to just listen instead of him. I would be listening to some local sports talk, but he at least talks about everything: college, hockey, golf. He will talk about. That'll be our next topic if Doug ever gets back on here.
Are you guys talking golf?
Well, I wanted to talk comebacks.
Okay.
And specifically, when you say comebacks, a lot of people will talk teams. Where individual comebacks are hard, I think actually harder to do. And so my argument was going to be not an argument. I was going to ask you guys with other individual comebacks. And to me, the Tiger Woods one, I've been around a long time. He's been out a long time, been a long time since majors, and he wins another major. Now, my argument is he did just win a tournament last year. It's not like he was gone in the last 2 years, but he missed a lot of time. So I give him that. Obviously, Jack Nicklaus, his comeback, he was almost 10 years between tournaments. That's a pretty big comeback, even though technically he didn't get hurt or leave for a long time like Tiger did. Other than that, what do you have any other individuals that you can think of that either laid off or had injury or just didn't do a lot for a while and then succeeded again?
No, I mean, you got the Jordan one, but I mean, I don't know if anybody considers that a comeback because he left basketball when he was still good.
I don't think
he went
comeback.
Huh?
I don't think anybody but Jordan fans consider that a comeback.
That's true. But you had the Lemieux comeback. I believe he had some health issues back in the day. I can't recall 100%, but I think he left for a little bit because that's when I was into hockey, and he came back, and I think they won possibly another Stanley Cup there with Pittsburgh. I don't know. This Tiger one was interesting for sure. And I'm just an interesting character because the commercial comes on like 2 seconds later. I mean, I'm just like, I don't know. Me, I'm the big conspiracy sports guy. I really am.
Well, here's two names that I'm going to throw out, and they're two different totally things. In my lifetime back, and I think it was in the 90s when George Foreman came back after being retired almost 10 years. And we're talking a different kind of sport altogether. People are beating on you. I'm sorry. That to me is a pretty big accomplishment. He didn't just come back. He came back and became heavyweight champion of the world.
He beat Buster Douglas? Who did he beat? He came back and beat, you're right. He came back and beat somebody fairly big.
I will have to look that up. Now, I do know he beat someone big, but they were also big at the end of their career, if I'm not mistaken. So that is one that I throw out there that as an individual, I think is a pretty big deal in my lifetime. That's one that I remember, that George Foreman came back after not boxing for 10 years. I know there's boxers that come back after 2 or 3 years and can't do it. They retire and then come out and struggle. But here's another one I have. I'd be curious, maybe a little closer to your time. The Nancy Kerrigan thing, I think, is a little different because she got her leg broken 1 year, roughly, not even a year before the Olympics, and still was able, with everything that went on around that, meaning mentally it was even worse than just getting her leg broken, just the way it happened and the whole situation. She didn't win gold, which would have made it even a great comeback, but she did get a silver medal. I know that's a short time, but a really pretty interesting circumstance. Would you count that as a comeback?
That's a tough question. You caught me off the guard with Nancy Kerrigan. I actually knew more about George Foreman because I was watching boxing then. I think, who did she lose to? Yamaguchi?
Yes.
Oh, she lost. Yeah. I'm kind of lost here. I hate to be I guess.
I'm just saying.
Come back from an injury, I guess, is considered a comeback.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
And I agree. If she'd have just hurt herself on the ice, I might not even consider it. But this was a big deal mentally to everyone involved. It was not just it wasn't just I broke my ankle on the ice. This was, I was attacked and now I have to go back out on the, and which reminds me, who was the tennis girl that got attacked? I think she came back.
Monticello got stabbed.
Yes. And she actually came back later and won a major after that. Not necessarily a comeback like, well, now I say that she did miss almost a year, I think. Yep. So that's another big, I know those are different kind of comebacks than what Tiger went through, but I don't know. When I think of major comebacks, I think those aren't ones that anyone else is. Right now, the comeback talk is on every local sports radio show because of the Tiger thing. I've heard George Foreman maybe mentioned once. Almost everything turns into teams, meaning the Buffalo Bills come back, when they were down like 28-4 or something and no quarterback, and Wright came out and scored like 700 points.
Super Bowl.
Well, that's the point, right? Patriots coming back was a big deal. I remember Doug Flutie with Boston College. That was a big comeback during a game. I think those are all different than what Tiger did. I don't, those are comebacks during if Tiger was down, 12 strokes and came back, that's a great comeback, but it's not the kind of comeback we're talking about. Where George Foreman and Kerrigan, those are comebacks where something happened and you had to fight through more than just beating the other team.
Well, that may have been a comeback for the day, but when you're saying these comebacks with George Foreman, I think you want a few more fights. So, a comeback for Tigers, he's got to win what? 2 more majors this year? I would consider an actual comeback for the old Tiger, wouldn't you? I don't know much about golf, but you can't win one and then not win anymore and then decide not to play on the small ones.
I think they're saying it's the greatest comeback between Masters wins and all that. That's why I put George Foreman ahead of him. I just think, and like I said, I think right now we have recency bias, I think is the term they use. But what George Foreman did, I still think was just amazing. And not only that, and he sells a grill, the whole thing. The whole thing, a pretty big deal what George pulled off for a career.
I had one. Did you guys? Does anybody have the Foreman grill here? Anybody?
I know. Grill. I think everyone's owned one at some point.
It wasn't very good.
Well, it was nice for you were like when I was a single guy, you just want to make one hamburger. It was kind of nice to have that,
Mm-hmm.
But
I'd rather have no burger than a dried out smash burger.
Oh, it's still hard to clean is the problem. I'd rather throw a burger in like a frying pan, cook it. It was a pain in the butt to clean. That was the problem.
right. I think now I have a boss that's really into them, and I think now the plates come out and you can put them in the dishwasher. Mine wasn't that way.
Oh,
You now can take it apart. Hold on. Somebody talk. I'm trying to type in who George Foreman beat for the title.
I'm worried about talking because for some reason Google Hangout hates me today and it keeps doing this thing. Did you see it? For a minute there were two of me on this line.
I saw that. Now,
I saw that.
When you talk, you're crackling up. So, but
I am too, though. So I don't know if it's just maybe it is you, Easy. I have no clue who. I don't know. Like I was fine. Now I've been echoing in my own ear.
Now he's echoing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
See, I can tune out and listen to YouTube, but I can't listen to myself. When I'm not on here, you guys sound fine. And right now, I think I sound fine.
So in the chat room, do we sound fine, Doug? Are you listening there?
If I do this,
because I don't care. Hey, this might be we might be the only three on here tonight, and we'll make it.
So we're just going to talk. We're just going to let it go.
Yeah, why not? Because
all right, let's do it.
If it's me and I log off, I may not be able to get back in like last week. So anything else on major comebacks? Again, I forgot. A pretty big deal.
I have one thing I'd like to say about comebacks. You know, in baseball, they always give out this award for comeback player of the year, and it seems like it's always an injured guy, and not just somebody that comes back from something else. I just think that, like, I don't know. I think it's easier to come back from an injury than it is to come back from something like big comebacks were like who's the guy that was the big pitching prospect who wound up playing center field for the Cardinals for a few years later in life, or like Tim Wakefield reinventing himself as a knuckleball pitcher after a fairly mediocre batting career. Like those are real comebacks from adversity versus just being hurt.
Well, which is why I said the Kerrigan thing. It was an injury and a mental.
There's something more than just being hurt.
Right.
You know,
where Tigers is everything. It's hurt. You know, he obviously went through a lot of things in his life for the last 10 years. So, you know.
I was listening to us on the thing, and we sound okay, even though there's this stuff going on in our headphones. We're a little bit choppy in the fact that, like, the minute you stop talking, it goes off. You know, like it sounds like we're really abrupt when we're speaking. I don't get that. But.
Well, again, we'll go until we get bored, and if it's only an hour and a half, then we'll figure it out. But what about in baseball? You guys are more baseball historians. I mean, I've watched it my whole life, but just a Reds fan. Is there anybody in baseball that took major time off and then came back? Would Tommy John be one of those? That was an injury, and I know he was one of the first to come back from a major injury like that.
I mean, you always hear stories of retired players coming back. You know, Rafael Palmeiro is trying to come back today. The Independent League, the IAAF, signed the Chicago Dogs, the minor league team, signed Carlos Zambrano. He's trying to make a comeback. But
I showed you last week, baby.
Guys who made a comeback.
Did you hear that Carlos Zambrano?
Yeah.
I'm trying to help my wife get on, guys. I'm sorry, but I'm trying not to be such a disruption on this lovely website here. But
right. Hey,
I showed her last week, but she can't seem to remember. She was trying to just go to Hangouts, but you can't do it there.
No, you normally could, but because this is a secret hangout, you have to find it somewhere.
Doug, why don't you send her a stupid Facebook link? Because I don't know how to do anything on Facebook.
I just posted it again. If she goes to Lenny Melnick FantasySports.com and clicks on the chat room, I put it back in there.
He just posted it again so you guys can make fun of me. And maybe somebody will come on and check us out. Where the hell is Dan? Was that his name, Dan?
Dan said he'd be on. I talked to him last night during.
I do like comeback player of the year. One of the greatest things I ever saw was when Adam Dunn in 2012 hit 222. He won comeback player of the year because he came back from hitting 177 the year before that.
Well, I have a question. I have a question for you, Doug. Do you remember? I might say his first name wrong, but Rich Ankiel?
Yeah, that's the guy I was trying to think of. The guy, yeah, he was the guy that.
Remember when he was a pitcher?
Yeah,
and then he came back the next year with the Cardinals
as a center fielder,
and then he all of a sudden was kind of a decent hitter for about a month. And then I don't know what happened after that, but people actually kind of considered him a possible comeback baseball player.
He was a decent center fielder, and He was a good fielder who had a little bit of pop. He wasn't going to hit more than like 260 or so, but there's
back then actually 260 probably wasn't the average, right? I mean, the league average.
The average was higher.
260, yeah, a little bit higher, or 265.
I am sending your wife the link
on Facebook.
Yeah.
No, she should. I got her to
Facebook message.
Oh, there you go. Let's try it.
And so if she needs, it's in her Facebook messages. You can tell her that from me.
Doug, was that a Mario character?
Yeah.
Did you just set yourself up for failure?
No,
it's easy. This is about to go off the rails.
No, the reason why my thing is the toadstool is because I don't like President Trump, and you remember the porn star that he slept with? She slept with?
Yeah, of course.
He said that his penis looked like a toadstool. Like, but
my wife's not gonna get that. She's a full Nintendo freak.
Not any toadstool, but like the toad from Nintendo. So I thought it was kind of funny.
Okay, time out. Do we risk? We've been on an hour. I think it's me, to be real honest. My machine's now doing something goofy. So you guys, I'm gonna pop out and pop back in, and I might come back in. I think I'll be fine.
And we'll be live on. We'll be live on Google. We'll be live only on Google.
You guys will be live
on YouTube.
I will keep doing that. I'm not going to rebuild my whole machine, so I should be back fairly quickly.
So that's we can handle.
I wouldn't
because Doug bailed on me last time. Easy.
Okay, right. Well, one way or the other. One way or the other.
I didn't bail. I thought it was over. I didn't know he was coming back.
Last time my machine rebooted. I couldn't. And it was doing some update. I couldn't get in. This time, I'm just going to shut down Hangouts and pop back in.
All right, let's see.
Because if Beth is going to come on, I think, again, I don't know.
She deserves a decent setup. Whereas guys like me and JR, whatever crap you can pull off is good enough.
Well, then never mind. F it.
No, go do it. It makes sense. I'm just joking around.
Well, to be honest, part of me wants to figure out if it is me or not, because this would be 2 weeks in a row. Me and Chris last week had no problem. So I don't know if it's something Go
ahead. I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen? I'm actually going to go to sleep and sleep fucking 6 hours.
Yeah, that's the truth. If you don't come back in, it's 10:58 by my clock. If you're not back here by 11:15, then we're just going to leave.
The worst thing is, I have the chat room open now. So the worst thing is, I'll type in the chat room, "Hey, here's a new Hangout tab. Come here." That would be worse.
Okay.
Start a new one.
So me, it's me and JR, the JR and Doug show.
No one's listening.
For the first time ever.
Who's in charge, Doug? I guess I don't even know where to go now. What questions are we asking?
Right. Okay. Here's what. Okay. Here, I'll give you the topic.
There you go. This is awesome.
Okay.
It's baseball.
Please do baseball. Yeah. Don't believe us in no Tiger Woods baloney.
What position's your favorite curling position?
Ooh,
you like to be the sweeper, or you like to be the shover?
Or whatever. This is why I think my computer's screwing up. It won't let me bring that up right now. So I think it is.
All right. I think you're right. Take the 5 minutes.
So here was my topic. A little quick topic. We all talked in Lenny Melnick FantasySports.com early in the year about ESPN cutting off their baseball coverage. So now that we're almost 3 weeks into baseball, I was just curious. I wanted your guys' opinion of, do we miss that there's no ESPN baseball at night? Does ESPN's baseball coverage seem any different, better, worse, that type thing?
Coming in, Beth?
About that. I now just watch.
Here, he sent you a link, Beth.
I don't know.
If she has to go to Facebook.
I will be back.
Bye. Oh, that's cool. The way he froze like that.
That's not too bad. So what do you think about that? I actually personally, Doug, I don't care about ESPN. I don't know about you.
I've been sort of off the ESPN train for about, what 15. They do is fine, but for probably about 10 years.
Oh, 100%.
But the one thing I did like is I like I thought that they were like the standard by which the podcasts were judged by, like when they had Ravitz and Barry and those things.
Yep.
And when those guys left, it sort of that changeover in podcasts. And now they still have the two guys that do their podcasts are still great, but they do it like every 18 days or something. It's like really weird format,
Who is it?
Tristan Cockcroft and Eric Karabell. They're both good players, guys, but they just don't do it enough for it to be all that useful. I also think that that was part of the whole thing with the Lenny show, was that there's like this change that's going to happen, and like these guys are dropping off in coverage, and the serious people were going to go to more of a gambling format. That there's which there's an opening for someone to talk fantasy sports even more. And I really thought that this could be it. But the one thing that's come along is, unlike 10 years ago, when we used to used to make time to watch a TV show at 9 o'clock, or you make time to see this. It's like we just watch things when we want to watch them, or we listen to them when we want to listen to them.
Yeah.
The podcasts that are out there, I don't think any of them are that great. There's some really good ones out there. But just last week, or is it maybe the week before? Last 2 weeks, The Athletic.
Yep. Of course I do.
They just announced that they're doing a bunch of podcasts, and they got Eno Saris on their podcast, and they have God, what's that guy's name? Nando DeFino on it, and it's like I think like that's probably the shift is going to be from ESPN to The Athletic.
To The Athletic.
I think that's what I see. If you're a serious guy, now The Athletic's going to cost you, well, I don't know what it costs, like $9 a month or something. It's a Netflix subscription or something, and so you got to be somewhat serious about the whole thing. But
I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it, but a lot of my guys and a lot of Cha-Cha's guys have moved to The Athletic. And so I checked it out for a minute, but I remember it kind of being a little expensive. But they do have some of, in my opinion, the better talent around now, like especially compared to Sirius, because Sirius has definitely gone downhill. They have moved into the DFS 100%.
I mean, it's one of the things about like Lenny. The reason why, the truth is, like, I wasn't like a Lenny guy, but Lenny was in that world of like 9 people that I respected in the industry, and so I would go search out when he talked, and I knew Tim McLeod, who knew him through my brother, who used to be a big guy in their stuff. But Eno Saris is one of the guys that every time he speaks, I want to hear it, and there's the guys that are gone, like Corey Schwartz and Nate Ravitz, those guys were brilliant, and I want to hear that. And Fred Zinke's gone.
Well, what scares me the most is I kind of feel like I've said this, I think I said this before, I kind of think it's an end of an era that maybe me and you were used to. Like, I really think a lot of it's the guys that are looking for the daily information on fantasy football or fantasy, nobody wants stats just kind of read to them from the night before, because everybody gets it on their phone. So I kind of think you're right 100%. My wife joins, and I don't know who Mark is.
Mark Rice.
Oh, my bad. But I kind of see what you're saying, Doug. Like, I kind of think it's an end of an era, which of course we've all seen a lot of end of an eras in our age. So, but it kind of makes me sad. Like, and I love that Lenny is putting this group together and trying to keep it going.
I think that Lenny is, almost by like,
I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background.
He stumbled across what the next thing is. The next thing really is the interactive podcast, where it's like, we're not reading emails, we're not talking about what somebody wrote to us a week ago. We're sitting there and we're talking, and while we're talking, somebody's going, I think you're wrong about Travis Shaw, and you respond like that. I think this is the right medicine.
Yes, we're just ignoring you.
Well, no, just because I got my laptop. I had to reboot my machine. I thought, well, I'll bring my lap up. Hi, Beth.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. And now
How was
my week? It was wonderful. We
what
had
the
decent
fuck?
weather.
Doug just got booted off?
No, we're here.
Okay. No,
but,
I was joking.
Beth, did you miss us?
I did. I really did. And actually, I was supposed to do a work thing tomorrow, but he got
canceled. Oh, that's right. He told me you had a work thing. When I asked if you and him were coming on, he said, oh, Beth has something going on. And I don't know. JR, didn't you say you had to babysit? I don't know what he said. He made it sound like he wasn't going to be here either.
I had to attend a two-day course about managing aggressive behaviors.
Oh, to remind you, Mark, exactly what I said. I said you had a.
Is that managing your aggressive behaviors or patients' aggressive behaviors?
That would have fit right into this show.
I'm pretty good at managing aggressive behaviors. I do it on daily.
I've been sent to one or two of those things in my life where it's like, you got to get this in touch with your feelings and be good to other people.
Basically, it was just give people basic human respect and don't be a bag of dicks. And so pretty much like,
amen.
Can you imagine that?
I got sent in like the year 2001. I got sent to sensitivity training because I said something disparaging about black people to my black friends. And someone overheard it. It's like the story was like there's like me and this guy